All right, so like we talked about in our ACL blog, one of the most underlooked and essential parts of ACL rehab is focusing on the cognitive or the neurocognitive aspect of things, right? So basically what that means is a lot of times after ACL injury, what will happen is we'll rupture the ACL, and the native ACL contains a lot of sensors that kind of tell us where our knee is in space, how things are moving, and more things like that, right? And so when that connection gets lost, a lot of times what happens is we have an over-reliance, like this is at the brain level, we have an over-reliance on our visual system and really need to look at our knee to make sure, oh, my knee is like good, or where's it at? And so it's over-reliance on that and a few other factors that gets a bit more complex than that. But one of the ways that we can mitigate or actually minimize our over-reliance on the visual aspect is by working on some of these things, right? Because at the end of the day, when you get back to your sport and you're out on the soccer field or the basketball court or whatever, you need to be looking at the environment around you, and you're going to be using up that processing, that mental power to be focused on the things around you and less so on where your knee is in space, right? So here's some of my favorite ways to address that. So what we're going to do is just kind of adding this extra component into a lot of activities that we're already doing, right? So one of the most common ones is, right, is lateral band walks, where we're working here, right? So one thing you can do is take a lacrosse ball and you can make a game out of it, right? So you can either do a ball toss with your physical therapist, or your physical therapist might have you hold on to this ball and might have you bounce for even numbers, maybe toss it up when you hear an odd number, right? So little variations like that. You can also do a few things, say single leg balance, right? If you're doing a single leg balance, you can mess around with eyes open, or you can mess around with eyes closed to really challenge that body's ability to not over-rely on the visual system. There's a couple other things you can do, is in this single leg balance, you might toss back and forth with your physical therapist. Your therapist might also be on the side of you and saying, hey, what number am I holding up, right? It's 2, that's 4. And really just challenging these activities that we're already doing in a way that's gonna bias that neurocognitive aspect of things, right? So again, that's gonna be one of the most important parts of your ACL rehab, and give it a shot, let me know how it goes.